Today, we're doing the top 10 classroom habits that once ruled U.S. schools but are gone for good. Yeah, and then we're going to be talking about the three top facts of the day. Talking about spring break today, so it should be have some fun here. But first, let's jump right into the ABCs: all body workout, blissful sleep, colorful diet. How'd you do today? Well, how'd you do yesterday? Today, I did well. Good workout, short and sweet. Diet excellent. Sleep so, working on it. And again, I got on the scale today. So, guys, you have to love the scale. That's one of my steps from how to drink from the fountain of youth. But I got on the scale. It was 147. That's a good weight. I like to keep it under 150. So, all good there. All right, guys, let's jump right into this here. So, if you're a baby boomer like me or Gen X, the latchkey generation, you guys know this. I'm going to give a shout out to the American Facts. Get their newsletter every day. This is a good one. How about this? 10 classroom habits that are gone for good. One of them, I will say, I did see a teacher embrace this one, which I really like. But number one was home economics. They're gone. Remember that? I talked about that in the other episode about my mom. Sewing, cooking, cleaning, budgeting. By 2000s, that class was gone. Again, I was the first seventh grader, first boy in a chauvinistic world back when it was in my middle school. I was the first one to take home ec because what didn't I take? The number two is wood shop. Wood shop's gone. Yeah, they talked about building integrated tools and skills, and that's gone. That was gone in the early 80s, guys. No more wood shop. How about this? Number three is dodgeball. Wow, I love dodgeball, but too many injuries. They got rid of that by the early 2000s. How about this? Chalkboard dusting. Remember we used to clap the erasers? Used to clean the boards. Well, they have whiteboards now, so that's been gone since the 90s. All right, number five was daily milk breaks. Yeah, I remember that. Well, they still take naps in kindergarten, but no more milk breaks. That came about, actually, it started in 1954 to boost childhood nutrition and support the dairy farmers when I think there was some periods of like a surplus. So anyway, that was gone by the 2000s. How about this? In-school smoking lounges. I really don't remember one of those from my schools, but they said they have those and they got rid of those. I think they got rid of those, by 2000s for sure, early 90s. Number seven, daily cursive drills. I remember. Remember we had to write cursive? They definitely don't do that anymore. They print. And let me tell you, in all the schools I taught, I only saw them write in kindergarten. I don't even think by first or second grade, they're not even working on that. I don't think kids write anymore, but I do love to write longhand. How about this? Number eight. Here's the one I saw in the classrooms. I did see it. Class pet enclosures. They got rid of those. Remember, they wanted us to, I guess it was to build empathy, maybe responsibility, basic biology. Well, that's long gone, but I will say this is back in LA. I remember this school, third grade. It was a third grade teacher. I remember this class. And she had, I guess it was a little hamster, but forget it. When she took that hamster out, it was chaos. Remember 36 kids running to play with a hamster. So I don't know. I guess she took it home with her on the on the breaks. How about this? Number nine is hall monitors. Forget hall monitors. Now they have security guards in the hallways. Yeah, they got rid of those by the 90s. And finally, this is one of my favorite. Remember morning calisthenics? We had to do this. I remember this growing up. I mean, Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne went on TV. I think it was 1958 all the way to 1985. Jack LaLanne was my mentor, or my hero back in the day when I started working out when I was 12 years old, 1976. But he had a show, 30-minute show about health, exercise, nutrition. Love Jack LaLanne. So, hey, guys, those are long gone. 10 things that you'll never see again, except maybe a hamster. All right, how about this? These are the top three facts of the day. I'm getting these three facts, two facts from Synopsis Media. It's another cool newsletter I've been reading for years. All right, how about this? It says second screening is going up. That's right. It says more than 50% of millennials We talked about millennials yesterday. I don't think those millennials like that little short video I put out. Hey, guys, listen, if your testosterone's going down, no worries. You could fix that. You could change that. So don't get discouraged from yesterday's show about the crisis. Everything can be changed, but got to get off your phones. All right, here we go. It says more than 50% of millennials watch videos on their phone while at the same time watching TV. Yeah, that's a pretty good number. How about this? Baby boomers in my category, they say about 35%. Since 2000, that's up by 20%. So, hey, I do that too. I mean, what could I say? Got the TV on in the background, but I love looking at the news. And Gen Z is more than 60%. Hey, we multitask. What can we say? I got three words for you: walk the mall. We talked about that in yesterday's show, but hey, if you're watching screens, TVs in the background, yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad. How about this? March Madness gone wild. Everybody knows March Madness, college basketball, the NCAA tournament. Well, how about this? 45% of March Madness viewers don't watch regular season basketball games. Hey, that's me. I don't watch regular season basketball games. And I tell you, I really like watching the women's basketball now over the men's. But hey, how about this? 89% of live sports fans, they say, watch with friends and family. That makes sense, right? About 90% of us, or you're going to the bar, you're knowing everybody there. So that's fun to watch with other people. How about this? Gen Z and millennial sports fans, they said they're the most engaged with the fantasy leagues, the micro betting. Yeah, I got a buddy of mine. Give a shout out to my boy out in Cali. He's a micro better. $20, $30, but he actually does pretty good. I think he picks up a couple $100 a month. You know, not going crazy. $5 bet, $20 bet. That's the way to do it, guys. If you're going to make some big bets, you should be buying Bitcoin, but that's a whole nother thing. And finally, it says engagement with the NCAA women's tournament surged 334% since March of last year. Like I said, I'm watching the women's myself. So, hey, kudos to the women's basketball. All right, how about this? This is it. Now, I got this from AAA. I got a newsletter from AAA today. You know what happens? I think once you get these news, they start sending you more newsletters. It's okay because the more the merrier. I love reading about facts and news. So these are the top 5 spring break destinations this year. Number 1, well, I got 2 words for you. Florida, baby. Well, how about this? Number 1's Orlando. Then you have Fort Lauderdale, Miami, LA, and Anaheim, and Tampa. Those are the top 5. Now, back in my day, 1985, I'm going to read you a little clip from my book, which tells a good story from 1985. 41 years ago. These were the top 5. Daytona Beach, Fort Lauderdale. Remember that? Jamaica. Remember Montego Bay? There was that hedonism there everybody used to go to. Cancun and Palm Springs. Now, I played baseball during spring break. So for the University of Pennsylvania, we would go a 12-day trip. We'd play 12 games. I mean, we played a lot of games down there. I remember that. We used to play Jacksonville University, Bethune-Cookman. University of Tampa was always really good. Rollins College was a great team as well. So if you're going to be enjoying spring break this year, have some fun. But let me read you. I want to read you this because it was this is from my memoir, Simply Between Millions, From Wall Street to Hollywood. This is chapter 22. It's called Trouble in Tampa. The chapter really talks about how well, it's a baseball story. We won't get into that story, but let me read you this because this was one of the best nights of my life. Here we go. The best night I ever had was after our doubleheader against Jacksonville University. We lost both games, so we ate a quick dinner in their mess hall. Then our clan crashed in the grass outside this high-rise building while we waited for the rest of our team. A bunch of gals from the top floor started screaming down to us to go over to the side entrance. We did, and these 2 cute girls led us up 10 flights of stairs. I think the whole floor was a sorority. When we got there, a bunch of gals were hanging out in this one apartment, so we all piled in. And everybody hooked up with a gal, so we made plans to meet them at a bar later that night. I was the first to head out the door when this beautiful Cuban gal bumped right into me. As it turned out, she happened to be the best friend with my bunkmate, Brownie's gal. So off we went, all psyched up for an evening of fun and hopefully debauchery. At the bar, we were partying and having a blast when Brownie suggested the four of us go back to our hotel room. My Cuban gal said, no, she couldn't go because she had a hair appointment in the morning. Quick on his feet, Brownie promised her that I would cut her hair in the morning. I actually got my New Jersey barber's license when I was 16. Although I never pursued it as a profession, I had a few classmates my senior year paying me $10 cash to cut their hair. Once I even cut a gal's hair for free since she agreed to do it topless. So the four of us jumped in the van with me in the driver's seat. Of course, the rest of our clan didn't mind since they were hoping to go home with their respective dates. All right, I remember this next part clearly because to this day, Brownie talks about it like it was yesterday. If you've ever been to Florida, you know a thing or two about service roads alongside highways. The bar was on a service road about a mile from our hotel on the same road. So what did I do? Instead of driving us over the highway and back the other way towards the hotel, I put the van in reverse and hit the gas. Drunk, of course. When we got back to the hotel room, the party just began. And since Brownie fell asleep way before I did, he missed the after party. In the morning, I took out my barber tools as promised. Since we were all pretty chummy with each other at this point, my gal sat in the front of the mirror with just her panties and a smile, while Brownie and his gal watched from bed. Little did we know that our front door was unlocked the entire night. So when our other buddy Anto barged in, he stopped dead in his tracks at the sight of bare boobs and scissors. Without missing a beat, my gal turned to him and said, you going to close the door or what? Classic. All right, guys. I mean, that's a classic time when, hey, 1985, you're 21 years old. That's the way it goes. But if you're on this spring break, things have changed, right? Back then, I mean, of course, don't be one drive drunk, don't want to be doing that. Got to limit the alcohol. Things are different now. There was no roofies, nobody spiking your drink. Yeah, of course, you don't want to do anything stupid. You got to be careful. All you guys celebrating, be responsible, wear a condom, of course. You're going to be having too much fun. And as always, you got to get your workout in even when you're there. All right, guys, what are we talking about today? My top 3 takeaways. What are the Tola takeaways? We got to do this every day. Number 1, you got to respect the ABCs. Get the workout in. Sleep, diet, important for your foundation. Number 2, go see somebody. Go visit someone older, especially. Maybe they don't have as many friends. Pick up the phone, make a phone call, make someone's day. And finally, be willing to accept other people's opinions because, hey, that's the way life is. You got to accept it. All right, guys, have an awesome day. Get your workout in. Peace.